Hello, and welcome once again. J76NY here, and welcome to the beginning of a brand new series on War on the Sea. We are going to be doing the ABDACOM Defensive Dutch East Indies campaign, playing as the Allies. We're going to be at a very, very severe disadvantage here in terms of our firepower and resources, so this campaign should be quite the challenge, to say the least. But you guys spoke, I listened, your votes were cast and counted, and you picked the ABDACOM Defensive as our next War on the Sea series. Wasn't exactly an overwhelming majority of you went for this one. The U.S. Pacific campaign was second, and the Japanese campaign on the Pacific mod was a distant third. So here we are in the ABDACOM Defensive. Thank you all very much for participating in that poll there. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get started by taking a look at these ships that we have available, the planes we have available. By request of a viewer, that's how we're going to start things out. We're going to take a look at the strategic map, the goals, and set a starting strategy. So let's get onto the campaign map, take a look at what we have, and then we'll move to the museum and get a little closer look at our assets. Alright, so here we are. Since 1937, Japan and China have been engaged in a protracted conflict of the Second Sino-Japanese War. America, along with other Western nations including Britain, Netherlands, and Australia, embargoed the sale of oil, steel, and iron ore to Japan in an attempt to stem further expansionism. Japan plans occupation of the Dutch East Indies and Malaya as alternative sources of natural resources, and on December 7, 1941, launched a multi-pronged offensive throughout the Pacific. The goal is to quickly secure Japanese interests, set up defensive perimeter, and then negotiate peace with America from this position of strength. February 1st, 1942. In order to expand the western perimeter of the empire, Japan for much needed resources. The invasion of Malaya Peninsula and eventually Java. The ensuing ground and sea battles, the first carried out by amphibious forces. This is your opportunity to turn the tides of history. Only Lieutenant Admiral Conrad Helfrich, commander of the American, British, Dutch, Australian Command in the East Indies, stands in their way. Now, if you have not checked out the channel Kings and Generals, I would highly recommend that. They have a full Pacific week-by-week series. It's outstanding. Everything they do is just fantastic. So if you're interested in the full Pacific campaign from day one, even before America got involved in all of this in here, check out that series. All right. Intelligence reports indicate enemy troops have landed on Singapore and begun taking control of the airfield. Once finished, long-range bombers will be free to attack Allied supply lines between Java and Australia and provide air cover for the Imperial Japanese Navy to operate further east. Use Surabaya as a forward base. Your orders are to take back Singapore, build a major airfield there, and clear the neighboring islands of any hostile forces. Build an airbase on Kaopang, and I am going to butcher these names to high hell. Just a warning. Build an airbase on Kaopang to reinforce ABDACOM defenses on Java, repel all hostile forces. USS Langley is on her way to Darwin, bringing much-needed additional aircraft. She should arrive in about a week's time. Okay, so we have to build a level 5 airfield on Singapore and hold until your reinforcements arrive on March 28th, which is, better part of 2 months. Take control of Kaopang and Singapore, and maintain control of Surabaya and Palembang. Now, this is the part of this mod that is going to be brand new to me, having to actually consider fuel an ammo cost in terms of resupplying my ships. I can't just put them in port, click the button, and send them out to do some more fighting. I have to actually make sure my forward bases are stocked up so they can do that. Okay. So let's take a look here. We're going to go through our ships, see what we have. We'll go Americans, start with the subs. We have the S-class submarine. S-class submarine has 10 torpedoes. Okay, there are 8 points. Porpoise class, we're at 7 of those. They have 16 Mark 14 torpedoes. The Salmon class. Salmon class has 24. That's pretty good. 24 Mark 14s. The Sargo class. Sargo class has also 24 Mark 14s. And that's it for American subs. T-class. Let's take a look here. 2 of them. They have 21 or 18 Mark 678 torpedoes. That's it for them. Then we have this guy who's got a very large gun on the front of his superstructure here, but it's not available until April 28th. So we may get there, we may not. 12 Mark 24M 550 millimeter torpedoes. But once we get into the museum there and we see this guy, it's a very, very nice looking submarine. I actually kind of looking forward to using him. Here, we've got 3 of the K-8 submarines. They have 10 Mark 18 or Mark 8s. I may go with the Commonwealth submarines, actually, just to avoid the nastiness of duds. I'm sure they're going to have their fair share of duds, but submarines are not cheap, starting 8, 10, 10, 12, 8. No idea how much that one's going to cost. But as you can see down here, starting out, we get 100 command points, so that is not a lot at all. All right, moving on to the destroyer escorts. None for you. We have got the Clemson class destroyer. Clemson has, let's see, surface radar, no dual purpose. Child's class destroyer, no dual purpose on this one either. They do have a Kingfisher on destroyers. So that's the 2 destroyers for the Americans, the 2 classes. We've got 13 of the Clemsons and 2 of the Childs. Okay, none for you, none for you, none for you, none for you. I find that kind of hard to believe. Yep. So it's the Americans that are going to provide the destroyer escorts, at least. We'll go down to the destroyers. Let's go back to the Americans here. V-class destroyer. That's new. This one does have dual-purpose guns. And that's it for the Americans. Then we go to Admiralty S class destroyer. No dual purpose. It's like we're short on depth charges for the these destroyers too. We only get, like, I believe 24. We got 2 of the Admiralty S, 2 of the Admiralty S mods. E class destroyer. Dual purpose, yes. Okay, moving on. Van Ghent class destroyer. It's got a strangely Japanese look to it, but whatever. No dual purpose. 21,000 on the range, though. That's pretty good for a destroyer. Van Gelen class. No dual purpose. I'm impressed by the range on them. Then we've got the Isaac Swears class that's not available until March 28th. And that's it for destroyers. Light cruisers, we've got the Omaha class. I believe we saw the Omaha class in Tokyo Express. We've got one Brooklyn class available on March 28th, the Boise. So March 28th is the date that we are going to be getting a lot of reinforcements, but starting off, we're definitely going to be fighting at a disadvantage. All right, Australians are going to offer up the Adelaide class light cruiser. Let's take a look at her. 645. Let's see, 6-inch, 8 6-inch guns. About the same range as the destroyer, but they have 30 depth charges here. Let's see. Dual purpose, no. Perth class light cruiser. Oh, we've got the Hobart and the Perth. Danae class light cruiser. Still no dual purpose. That's fine, I guess. Emerald class light cruiser. Enterprise class light cruiser. Okay, that's it for... Oh, we've got a Tromp class light cruiser that's available on March 28th. That's actually a pretty good looking ship there. Let's see. 6 5.9-inch guns on this one. They do have scouts available. Java class. We're going to have a Java class available to us. 2 of them. The Reuter class. Wow, look at that guy. Superstructure on that's very, honestly, modern Japanese. That's interesting. I was going to say there we got a Tenryu. That's strangely similar to Japanese, but it is. So, moving on to the heavy cruisers, we've got the USS Houston, which was lost in the Java Sea. So we'll see if we can get her through the campaign without getting sunk. It's going to be kind of important to do that because that is the only heavy cruiser the Americans are offering. We have the York class heavy cruiser, the Exeter. That's 1. And that's it for heavies. We've got 2 heavy cruisers for the whole campaign. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Going to the carriers. Alright, Langley class, February 8th, 1942. 7 days, like it said. Let's take a look at what the Langley offers. Not even really concerned with the firepower. 2 Kingfishers and 8 Catalinas. That's what that carrier carries. That's what we're going to have to work with for our air power starting out. Okay. And that's it. The Japanese, on the other hand, have 3 Zuiho class, 2 Chitoses, a Hosho, and I'm sure they've got quite a few Ryuho, Tokaku, how many of them? 2. Akagi, Kaga, Soryu, Hiryu. Yeah, so, like I said, severe disadvantage. Alright. we will make the best of the situation. Let's go to the fast battleships. Nothing for the Americans. The Renown class standard battleship. We've got one, the Repulse. Repulse has 6 15-inch guns, 20 4-inch guns. Let's take a look. Sensors and armor. Surface radar. The armor torpedo belt is 9 inches. Heavily armed magazine. 75% on the torpedo defense, so that's not bad. But that is our only battleship. Or our only standard battleship. Now for the big boys. Nothing from the Americans. The King George V from the British. We have one. The Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales comes with a 14.7-inch belt. Almost 20 inches of armor protecting the magazine. 12 for the turret. But only has a 55% torpedo defense. They come armed with 10 14-inch guns and 16 5.25-inch guns. So as far as heavy hitters, we've got 2. 70 command points for the Prince of Wales and 70 for the Renown. So I think, honestly, if it were a choice between the two starting out, I would probably go with the Renown just to start out with because of the higher torpedo defense. Okay. Now I'm not going to get into the planes on this right here. I'll move on over to the museum, and we could take a look at the planes and take a little closer look at some of our ships. Okay, so let's quickly go through some of these ships here. Americans with the S-class, the Porpoise class, the Salmon class, Sargo, let's do here. I'll just show you that one sub, the one that I wanted to really take a look at. Take a look at this guy too. Very interesting looking sub. Looks like they got the torpedo mount right on the outside. There we go. That's what I wanted to show you. Surikov class submarine. Look at that gun. Look at that gun. Right on the front of a sub. Probably bigger than anything any of our destroyers have. That's going to be interesting to see if we ever actually get into the action with that sub. Let's go through real quick, see if there's any new Child's class. Wonder what the cargo capacity on this. It looks like it's a fairly amphibious orientated vessel here. It's not a bad looking model. Like the breaking up of the paint scheme here. Let's move on down to the destroyers. We got a V class. War paint. Alright, Admiralty S class. Doesn't look anything like its picture there, but that is okay. Very small ship. Admiralty S mod. Oh, it's even smaller. I wonder what the difference is. Alright, we got the E class. You know it's an old ship when they put the numbers right there. I have to tell you, it would take a special breed of sailor to man one of these ships. I would say this is probably pre-World War II. I mean, even the World War II destroyers were on the small side. Let's take a look. What do we have here? Tromp class. It's interesting looking. These are the light cruisers. Java class. De Ruyter class. Yeah, that's an interesting looking superstructure there. Kind of a modern looking ship, actually. Got some decent weaponry on it. What else we have here? The Americans have the Omaha and the Brooklyn. I think everybody already knows what those look like. Adelaide. Danae. I don't think I looked at this one yet. Not bad. Emerald class. So we've got a decent amount of light cruisers and a fair amount of destroyers, but the heavy hitters are going to be few and far between and expensive too. So there's that. Okay, so for the heavies, we've got the Northampton. We've got the Exeter. I believe the Exeter was sunk as well. Although I'm sure anyone with more knowledge of the early days of the South Pacific combat could correct me if I'm wrong. Not a bad looking ship. Pretty good looking model too. Alright. Let's take a look at our carrier here. Wow, it's a lot bigger than the picture looks. That would be the Langley. If I'm not mistaken, it's the one of the very first aircraft carriers. If not the first aircraft carrier. But they don't come with much, so I didn't go through the merchants. I'm not going to do that at this point. We'll take a look at our standard battleship, the Renown. Nice. Had to zoom out there to fill the whole, get the whole ship in. And not a bad looking ship. Not bad. The one and only Repulse. We'll go with the good with the one and only Prince of Wales. Yeah, that's a nice looking ship. Very, very impressive projection of power right there. All right, let's get into the airplanes. Just going to go through these real quick. We've got Scouts, the Walrus. Torpedo Bomber, the Swordfish, which is a freaking biplane. That'll be fun to see these guys get shot down. Swordfish. B-339. Medium bomber, it's a Hudsoni. I'll say it's a Hudson. Alright, that's our medium bomber. I wonder what the range on these things are. I don't know if it... Oh, there it is here. Maximum speed. 1700. That's not bad. Hawker Hurricane. There we go. It's not too shabby. Now we're into the Scouts, for the British at least. 524 miles. Oops. Oh, whatever. Okay. Nothing. Alright, we've got the Scouts. Another boat. Very white. Medium bomber, the M139W1. Very interesting looking plane. What do we have for, let's see, payloads? 1,000 pounds. Alright. We've got the M75A7. M339D. Very squat. CW21. What if these guns, 4 machine guns? Let's go through. 6 machine guns. Doesn't say what the caliber on them is, though. Alright. I think that's it for them. Then the Japanese. Now we got the Americans, we got the Wildcats, we've got the P-40 Warhawks, Dauntless Dive Bombers, we've got TBD Devastator Torpedo Bombers, huh? Interesting. What's the range on those? 796. And we've got the Avengers, Seagull, it's a Scout. Here's the Kingfisher, Catalina. Got the B-17 Flying Fortress with 3,261 miles of range. Alright, that's the Wildcats there. I think we went through everybody in terms of not sure we did actually go through everybody. Probably did, but anyway. That is who we are going to be using to fight our air battles. Once we get back over to the strategic map, we can take a look at things, the conditions for victory, and what we're going to be starting out with, and kind of come up with a opening strategy, and then we could start the campaign. So we will get back over to the strategic map, look at what we have to do, what we have, because we know what we have to work with, and it's not a lot. Okay, here we are. So our main objectives: Singapore, Kaopang, Surabaya, Palembang, maintain control of. Kaopang's right here. Let's see, is that even... Hang on. Kaopang. Take control of Kaopang. That's where I thought I saw that. So we have to take control of this one. It's vacant so far. All of our bases, or at least most of them, are contested so far. Japanese have put boots on the ground in Singapore, Palembang, Banjimison, holy shit, Makassar, sorry about the pronunciations, but Denspar, here's Surabaya right here. The thing I like is we have two, three. We have 3 locations on Java that we can rearm our ships at. So what we're going to have to do is make sure these 3 locations take priority early on in terms of fuel. Also, we're going to need fuel and engineering to replace our air losses from these air bases, so that's going to be a particular challenge. Our main base is down here in Darwin. We're going to start out with 2,400 troops, 1,200 supplies, and 200 each of engineering and fuel. So, I believe obviously the first objective I'm going to go for is to put boots on the ground in Haopang. We have a level 3 airfield here. This isn't one of the secondary objectives, I don't think. Maintain control of Surabaya and Palembang. So Palembang being secondary, Surabaya. That's Singapore. Surabaya, where would you be? Am I missing something here? There it is, right there. Alright, so we do have troops on all of these bases. This one is contested. I'm probably going to start out with at least 3 submarines to act as kind of a forward screen up in through the Java Sea. Possibly send one through the Indian Ocean down here in case they try and sneak anything down through here. I'm going to probably start by mixing surface combatants with transports, take control of this, and then we'll decide where the next wave of troops is going to go. Singapore up here being the main objective, we do hold a slight advantage. We've got 4,000 troops and 1,000 supplies, no engineering or fuel. This base is probably going to fall fairly quick. Batavia is fully in our hands, as is this southern base right here. Jalap Jap. Oh, don't be too hard on me, guys. Okay, moving on. Alright, back to being serious. Now we do have these 2 Japanese bases here that we're going to have to deal with. We've got a level 2 airfield on Ambon and a level 3 on Kandari, so they're going to be probably sending up some patrol. So if we get caught and those planes start coming, we may not even make it up into the Java Sea, so that's definitely something we're going to have to keep in mind. Now at a level 3 airfield we have these guys. Knew I wasn't going to remember what all these planes did, but whatever. We've got them. That's a level 3. Level 3 as well. That's a level 4. That'd be a shame to lose that. We've got Hudson's. So, you know, obviously it's going to be land-based fighters that are going to be our path to air superiority, if that's even possible, which I highly doubt. The way the victory conditions read are we have to build an airfield on Kaopang to reinforce Java. USS Langley's on our way. Build a rank 5 on Singapore, so that's where we have to build our rank 5 up there. And hold out till reinforcements arrive. Right now they're at a level 3. And in terms of supplies, we really don't have enough to, not even close, to get them up to a level 5. Let's see. So, 5 fuel, 25 supplies per ship that expends ammo. Half fuel, 10 supplies per lost task force plane. 1 fuel, 1 engineering, and 10 supplies per replenished airfield plane. Bombard kills enemy troops and partially destroys local stockpiles of supplies, engineering, and fuel. From what I understand about some updates that the mod has put into place is you can unload supplies, I think in batches of 10. I didn't play through it to see exactly how that would work, but if that's a part of this, that'll be handy, because then we could just kind of piecemeal our supplies. Because I don't think we're gonna have enough to go around. I mean, Japanese are almost certainly are gonna take Denspar, Palembang, and Singapore might hold out for a little bit longer, but I don't really have hopes that they're gonna hold out forever. So that's going to be the starting strategy, is get some subs out, a dual-purpose fleet to come down here and take this, and then possibly reinforce one of these bases here, and then send the transports back, and hopefully by then it will be time to get more command points. We could send out another dual-purpose fleet. And then once we've reinforced bases, we could look at taking some of these just for the command points. If you think I should just skip to the chase and start taking enemy bases, let me know in the comment section below. It wouldn't be a bad idea just to get our command points built up on the weekly basis so we have more to work with. Although, more command points doesn't necessarily mean more ships are going to be available, so if we have everything we have out in the Java Sea, in the Indian Ocean, and elsewhere, then that's it for the ships. But I'm really looking forward to getting the campaign started. We're going to have a proper episode 1, probably either for the second episode on Sunday or Monday's episode. So if you want to follow along through the ABDACOM campaign and you're new here, welcome. Thanks for watching. I know these procedural episodes are probably not exactly the most exciting thing to watch in a war game, but I just wanted to acknowledge my viewer who asked me to go through the ships and planes and lay out my strategy and get your feedback. Your feedback is very important to me. I do take my my viewers seriously when they offer suggestions, tips, and advice, and all that good stuff. So feel free to leave those in the comment section. Like I said, if you're new here, want to follow along, hit the subscribe button. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, it would help our new series get some exposure with the YouTube algorithm, and get it out there so more people come along and watch, and more tips are left in the comment section below. More tips for me is a good thing. Anyway, that's the overview of what we're about to do. I fully suspect this is going to be one hell of a challenge, but I'm going to have fun doing it, so we will get into that in the next episode. J76NY saying thank you very much for watching, and we will see you for episode 1 of our ABDACOM campaign on War on the Sea.